This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we talk about the least effective method of time travel as we review Christopher Nolan's Tenet. Plus, Oscar nominations reaction from Anthony, our thoughts on the Paramount Plus streaming app, getting hyped for the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, and a bunch more. All in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, March 15th, 2021.
This is Norm MacDonald, and you're listening to the, hang on, I got it here. It says, the Jock and Nerd Podcast, known for their series of gay erotica found on Amazon, No? That's not that? Oh. Well, I fucked that up, I guess.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Shocking, we heard it. We funny, disturbing. We shocking, we heard it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah.
That's right, listener. We jockin', we nerdin'. Welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero, TV, and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He is the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
And joining us, he puts the sin in vaccination. It's Rug Boy. How's it going, Rugs?
I'm on my second shot.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
I didn't think Felties were the phase yet. That's like phase Felty.
Oh,
B.
not the vaccine. I'm just drinking bourbon.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good. That'll keep the thing away.
It's alcohol. It burns it out of your system.
Yes.
That's what Trump said, right? You just drink it.
Yeah, and then inject
fine.
yourself with some of that disinfectant cleaner there. Little spritz in the mouth. You'll be fine.
Sure.
Rugs. Also, you promised you were going to go through this episode backwards, Rugs. What happened? Did you?
Gnip ganop?
Yes.
Banip banip.
Oh,
Yug burn.
I know exactly what he just said.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
And I'm going to interact with him like I knew what he just said.
All right. We'll get to that bullshit later, and it's going to make your head hurt a little bit, listener. But first, here's some news.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Oh, I'm excited because I'm handing over this whole thing, this first segment, to Anthony.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Why?
shit.
Because very early today, when we were recording Monday, March 15th, in the wee hours of the morning, Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra Jonas revealed the Oscar 2021 nominations.
Oh, shit. Geek boner.
Yes.
And so, Anthony, give us the lowdown reactions. First of all, I want to know, did you watch this shit live?
I did.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh, shit.
I woke up about an hour and 40 minutes earlier than I normally wake
And
up.
what time was this on?
It was on, it started at 7:19 a.m.
Oh, that's not too bad. But it's
Why
still
so early in the morning?
I don't know why they do it that early. It's 5:19 on the West Coast.
Yeah, it's 5 a.m. Hollywood time, which is crazy.
It's very strange that they do it that early. I don't know why they don't make it a more of a primetime thing. I feel like that'd be a lot smarter.
I think they want everyone to report on it.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah,
put it
that's
out.
true.
First
And
news story.
You can have the whole day full
Yep,
of
and
articles.
that's-
I guess that makes sense.
That's what we had today on all the shows. This is the big news. So
Yeah.
give us the lowdown, the big awards,
What do
and
you
your
want?
reactions.
Ask me questions. What do you want? What do you want to know? Do you want to know who got nominated?
Yeah, let's start with the big nomination categories. Who got nominated?
All right. Well, we can do that. Best Picture. So we have 8 nominees this year.
Wow, 8, not 10, huh?
Not 10, no. And the nominees are Judas and the Black Messiah, which I was very happy to see. Mank. Nomadland. The Father.
Father, okay.
Minari.
Nice.
Promising Young Woman.
Yeah.
Sound of Metal. And a movie we reviewed on the show, Trial of the Chicago 7. So we only had 8 nominees this year.
Solid. How did you feel? First of all, was this like Christmas morning? And how about that feeling when the nominations of the Best Picture come out and you're like, I've seen all these fucking movies. I was right.
Yes, for what it's worth, I have seen all of these fucking movies. It's a very strange feeling waking up this morning and being super pumped to watch people nominate movies that
me too.
I feel like this is gonna be the lowest rated Oscars ever.
No, yeah, nobody's watching.
I feel like this is all a result of Anthony not having sports to watch.
Definitely.
He's like, gotta cheer for something.
This is your sports. So any
I have
surprise?
sports to watch, but yes.
Yeah, any surprises? Any snubs out of these?
Yeah,
for
the
you?
big snubs. I mean, not personally, but what I predicted. I didn't see The Father getting in, but it's a great film. I actually saw it over the weekend in a movie theater.
Wow.
Yeah. The two big snubs, though, were One Night in Miami and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yeah,
those basically everyone had in. No one saw those not getting in. So I had predicted 9 movies. They went with 8. And those two I had in, The Father out. But overall, it's a good list.
Solid set of movies. Yeah, solid.
The only movie I really just don't care for on here is Mank. But everything else is a pretty good film, and I would say this year's movies. There was a lot of conversation around, like, is it a kind of a fluke, like an asterisk year? Like, a lot of movies got pushed back. I'd say a lot of these movies are as good as any movies you'll see in any year. So
absolutely, surprisingly,
and I'll throw in basically all of these are kind of like indie movies. Trial of the Chicago 7 had the biggest budget at like $35 million, but everything else is really small. So
solid set of movies. All right, and a lot.
How many of these have you seen, Imran?
So I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I seen 5 of the 8. And can we just back up and say that you went to the theater during a pandemic to watch a movie that has no boobies or explosions? Watch a depressing movie, but I listened to your reaction.
The Father?
Yeah, the movie sounds awesome.
It's freaking great.
So
Anthony Hopkins is fucking amazing in that movie.
I got to catch up on some of these rugs. How many of these have you seen?
None of them. No, I saw. This is very strange.
We reviewed one on the show.
This is very strange for me because I usually watch them all as well, but not this year. I think I watched The Five Bloods, which I think was going to be nominated for something. No, it got
snubbed. It got snubbed.
We'll talk about that one.
The Trial of Chicago 7 and Nomadland, and I think that's it.
So a lot of history this year, a lot of diversity. I really like this. Let's move on to Best Director. There's some interesting shit going on here.
Yeah, Best Director was a surprising one. There was one big surprise. So Thomas Vinterberg from Another Round,
Never
which
heard of him.
I haven't even seen it. It's been on my radar for a bit.
Oh, it has. That came out of nowhere.
I haven't seen it yet. That's with Mads Mikkelsen. Apparently, it's a really fucking good film. The premise is that all these teachers have, like, they read or listen to a podcast and listen and learn that you're basically a better functioning human if you keep your blood alcohol level 24/7 at like 0.5.
Oh my god! And so there's always another round. They just keep the buzz. Hey, keep the buzz going. That's what I'm always
so they're just keeping the buzz going all the time. Mads is really good in this.
Nice.
But yeah, Another Round. Lee Isaac Chung for Minari.
Okay.
Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. David Fincher from Mank, and Chloe Zhao from Nomadland. Yeah, Thomas Vinterberg was the biggest surprise for me. I thought maybe Aaron Sorkin or Regina King.
Yeah, Regina King snubbed. Mank walking away with 10 nominations. But here we have, for the first time in the Academy Awards history, nearly in 100 years, more than one female director nominated in the Best Director category, which is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's great. But Regina King, maybe I would have liked, they got 2 girls in here anyways, but I would have liked to see her. This Thomas Vinterberg took her spot. I don't know.
It looks like he did, yeah. I would say Chloe Zhao is pretty much like she's going to win.
The lock?
At this, yeah. And I'll throw in for Best Picture. I think Nomadland is clearly in the front.
Yeah.
We'll see how the next month plays out, but I think like Trial could still contend, Minari, and my dark horse would be actually Judas and the Black Messiah.
So do you have a pick for this, or do you not want to say?
No, I do. For which one?
For any of them.
Oh, yeah. Right now I'd predict this is as of this moment, and it could change with some of the Guild nominations and the BAFTAs, but see how fucking nerdy I am about this?
BAFTAs, this guy.
Nomadland, Best Picture right now. Director, Chloe Zhao, Nomadland as well.
Okay, more.
It's not my favorite. It's just what I think.
This is what they're going to pick. More historical nominations, Best Actor, Anthony.
Yeah, this one you'll be very happy. First off,
love this.
Riz Ahmed, Sound of Metal.
Yes.
First Muslim, right?
First Muslim actor in the category. He is a Pakistani Muslim British dude like me.
Oh, that guy from the Slumdog Millionaire didn't get in?
Dev Patel, what was he in? Was he in something? Or the other guy? I don't know. Riz,
I think he might have been Hindu.
dude, I couldn't be happier for Riz Ahmed getting the Oscar nomination. He's
not
great.
Pakistani,
He's great in
right?
Sound of Metal.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey,
Nice.
Anthony Hopkins in The Father, Gary Oldman in Mank, Stephen Yeun in Minari. Stephen Yeun's the first Asian to be nominated. Big snub here is Delroy Lindo.
Yeah.
I would have had him over Gary Oldman. I think Gary Oldman's not that great. I think Mank is just a boring ass film.
Mank is an acquired taste a little bit.
Mank is like the
You gotta love the old
Academy
Hollywood.
Award. Like it's like the Hollywood film that it's like what they would normally nominate.
I guess,
a movie about movies.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, I guess it makes sense it got 10 for like the technical stuff it does well in cinematography.
And my pick, I mean, this is pretty easy. Boseman's going to win
Yeah,
this.
you think they're giving it to Boseman?
Yeah,
I think that's probably the smart move.
I mean, it's everything's for what it's worth. I actually think Anthony Hopkins is the best out of these.
Yeah,
I think his portrayal is really friggin' good as a guy with dementia. But Chadwick Boseman's going to win.
Okay, best actress. Who do we got?
This one was like pretty much locked in coming into this, but it's Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day for the United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby, Pieces of Woman, Frances McDormand, Nomadland, Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman. These were all pretty much everyone knew that these were the five, especially after the Golden Globes. And I predict Carey Mulligan's going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if basically anyone won. This is a very unpredictable category.
Viola Davis now has like the most nominations for a black woman for the actress, passing up. I forgot that the other girl. So you're picking Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman. Okay. Real quick, let's go through Best Actor and Supporting.
Yeah, we'll do the two other supportings, and then we can stop there.
Yeah, that's good.
Just overall. Supporting Actor, this one was surprising. So Sacha Baron Cohen, Trial. Daniel Kaluuya, Judas and the Black Messiah. Leslie Odom Jr., One Night in Miami.
Nice.
Paul Raci in Sound of Metal, which is a great pick. And then this was the shocker. Lakeith Stanfield is also from Judas and the Black Messiah. So basically, the two lead actors,
because they're supporting
got
roles.
put into supporting actor, which is really strange.
But are they leads? I believe it comes down to like screen time, and like if you probably figure out the screen time, like they're both pretty equal in the movie.
But if they're neither are leads, then who's the lead?
There is no lead. They're both supporting.
That's a stupid thing.
That's what people were freaking out over Lakeith Stanfield. I saw that this morning.
Yeah, because everyone thought he was going to be a Best Actor, like he was getting campaigned for Best Actor, and he wasn't going to win. I think it's a great pick.
I guess Lakeith is in it a little bit more, maybe. I don't know.
But it's a strange to have the two leads
put them up against each other. Yeah.
And then this one you'll really enjoy. And for that one, Daniel Kaluuya is going to win.
Okay, Kaluuya.
He's a runaway train.
Fred Hampton.
Too.
Yeah. Okay, Best Actress Supporting.
Best Supporting Actress, Maria Bakalova.
Yes.
For its subsequent movie
Good
film.
for
For
her.
what it's worth, she's been nominated like everywhere.
Oh my God. Has she won any of them yet?
She's won. In Critics' Choice, she won.
Nice.
Wow.
Glenn Close, Hillbilly Elegy. Terrible movie from what I've heard. I haven't seen it yet. I will. Olivia Colman in The Father. She's really good in that. Amanda Seyfried in Mank. She's probably the best of that.
Good in that.
And then Yu Young from Minari. She's really good in that. She's a grandma in that.
I want Maria to win, but I don't know. You were going up against Glenn Close, so I don't know.
I predict Yu Young.
Oh,
but
shit.
This one's wide open too. It could be anybody.
Wow, good stuff. I found this article on Variety, and it says because statistically, they're dubbing this the Year of the Woman, and they're saying the only two films that can win Best Picture based on Oscar statistical history are Nomadland and Promising Young Woman, considering where they landed nominations. So I think your pick is probably it's going to Nomadland, probably.
I think Nomadland's going to win.
Promising Young Woman would be an upset.
Promising Young Woman would be Gerald Morris would shoot into the air and go into orbit if that won.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of a stretch for that movie to win. Yeah, I think Nomadland. I think Netflix got like 34 or 35 nominations.
Killing it. I think they had
a lot of good films. The biggest snub, obviously, Defy Bloods. They got like no love whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
I do, but I do think Delroy Lindo was fucking Oscar worthy, and he didn't. He got
he was the whole
hard.
movie. I think he superseded Spike Lee's direction. I think his performance was just what you would watch the movie for.
There is something to make note of in that, like all these movies, at least most of them. So it's interesting because of the pandemic, all these movies are very accessible now.
I was just going to say that you can pretty much stream all these movies, or you will be able to stream all these movies very soon.
Yeah, so you don't have to go to theater. But the other thing is like it's like very accessible, and yet also are very inaccessible in terms of like you have to kind of keep track of the fact that all these movies are on different streaming.
Oh, well,
so it's like,
yes.
It's a little bit like very accessible, but almost like it's hard.
It's fractured and scattered all over the streaming landscape. Absolutely. Some are
you don't just go to your local theater anymore. You have to like Google, okay, how can I find Nomadland? And then, it's on Hulu.
And some are with services you're paying for. Some are going to cost you $20. Some are going to cost you more money on top of the subscription that you're paying. It's all over the place. It depends how badly. Like I want to see Promising Young Woman and Minari.
Paid for it.
But I'm like, these are $20 pop at the mall. You know,
those are the two that I want to watch too.
And The Father. After I heard your review, I kind of want to really see The Father. But again, it's going to be $20 a pop every movie. So
I'll say this. As far as like my personal rankings, the only movie, like I said, I didn't really like was Mank. I actually have Nomadland towards the bottom too. Everything else I really like.
Who would you pick for Best Picture?
If it was up to me with like these nominees, I'd pick The Father.
Oh,
I think The Father's the best one. But I would have had, if it was up to me and I was deciding the nomination, I would have had Soul somewhere in there. I would have had Palm Springs maybe somewhere in there.
Oh, shit.
I would have thrown it. I would have had at least 10. So I would have had
Ma Rainey, One Night in Miami. Yeah.
I liked Ma Rainey better than One Night in Miami, but
yeah.
You know, and I still got some more films to catch up on. But I think
you are well prepped.
I know Ruggs mentioned he's seen Nomadland. I'm curious to see what he thinks.
I watched it last night, and I thought it was good. Of course, Frances McDormand is always good in everything that she's in.
Yeah,
you can see her tits.
I did see Anna Bush. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was that.
And but
my balls was hot.
Listen, she went for it. So anyway, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Basically, you know, Swanky, what's her name? Was that her name?
Yeah, Swanky, the real life
Swanky,
person.
you know, I was trying to figure out, is this like, this is definitely this is written, like this is not, she's not gonna announce her suicide, you know, this is for the movie.
Oh.
But she still delivered it in a way where I almost believed her.
Yeah, it's very real.
So I thought that was kind of cool, and the way it was played was very good. It was very subtle. It was like, all right, she was very matter of fact about it. She's like, I've seen some cool shit, and I'm good. Like, I'm just, you know, and I think the movie overall, like, it was trying to have this kind of statement that, you know, like, people just get left behind in this country, especially places that don't have work or places that don't have industry. They just fucking, at a certain age, you just got nothing. And it was this interesting picture of this kind of lifestyle that's out there. So I found that to be interesting. I don't know if it's the favorite movie that I've seen or if it was like I was like bowled over by it. I just thought, this is interesting to like I would watch a documentary about it, but I wouldn't want to nominate it for an Oscar. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like I was being informed about it. It was informative, it was touching and whatever, but like I didn't feel like overwhelmed by like or impressed by anything. Like, I mean, Frances McDormand, I expect her to be great, and she did this like kind of thing where she didn't really have to say much. I mean, you could see all through her emotions and the way she acted. Yeah. So all this subtle kind of acting. So it's brilliant in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? But I don't think that the impact that it had was just very much like, was just like, oh, okay, I'm done with the movie. The movie ends in this kind of like, she kind of drives off into the sunset and you don't know what she's going to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, it was fine. It was good. I had no complaints about it. I have no negative thoughts about it. I just didn't feel like overwhelmed by it either. So it was just kind of, it was good. It's
poetic.
What do you think of, so that you saw Chloe Zhao? I completely agree with you. I think it's beautifully shot, but then other than that, like, it's just kind of interesting in that it's a peek into something we don't really see.
Yeah.
What do you think of Chloe Zhao now being a Marvel director and doing the Eternals? Like, do you see any sort of
I do. I feel like that she has an idea of, see, look, there's people who can let actors do what they do, and that she can, and you could tell that she made good choices.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she has David Strathairn as this guy, and he likes her, but nothing ever comes of it. It's unrequited, but like at the same time, like, there's not a lot of like romantic stuff going. It's just very suggested.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's sophisticated in that. Like, she's sophisticated in trying to
nuance.
and not to do things like that you've seen like in regular acting. Like it's not like soap opera-esque or melodramatic. It's very stripped down, and it has like a level of realness to it. So I think that she's good in that sense. I don't know how that plays into a Marvel film. I don't know how much she directed the actors, like, you know, to get a performance, because she basically, you were using people who weren't actors. Right. And so I feel like that she had the forethought to let them just be themselves. So I don't know exactly what, I don't know what the Eternals are supposed to be. And I guess she knows what, I guess.
What about like her choice of shots and like just the expansive big sky look? I think she can use that well in a space movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's Tatooine shots everywhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Badlands look like an alien landscape, anyways. So
I mean, look, you have the most beautiful backgrounds. You just have to, you know, shoot them. Yeah, I mean, look at Tom Green. If you watch Tom Green, you want to watch Nomadland? Watch Tom Green's YouTube channel. He literally got into a truck.
Yeah.
And just is going around the United States.
Are we talking about the Tom Green from like MTV?
Yes, that Tom Green.
Yeah. He literally got himself one of those Sprinter vans or some kind of, and he made it into one of those like RVs.
Yeah.
And he's driving all over the United States with his dog and just
doing dumb shit.
And he's not. He's just doing exactly what this movie is.
Whoa.
Just exactly the same thing, except he's really doing it. And like he's like just by himself a lot, and just kind of like it's like this movie. He's running into people, going to derelict ghost towns and stuff like that. So yeah, and he's got some beautiful shots in his stuff too. Like he has his drone camera. I mean, it's great that you're showing these beautiful landscapes. It's great that you're shooting it and composing it beautifully and using it to great effect.
Best picture, Ruggs. Best picture.
I don't know.
Well, he hasn't seen all. He's only seen 3.
I have nothing to compare it to. I don't even know what to say.
It's going to win it. This is the best picture.
I think it's going to win.
Why do you think there's such a push for this to win?
It's just, I mean, the critics really, really love it. It's won already in like a couple big major awards.
It's got momentum.
I think it's because it's got that realness quality. I think that the reason why.
Very real.
I think that reason why it ascends is because you watch so much shit that's obviously Oscar bait. You watch stuff that's melodramatic and obviously written in a way. This feels like she kind of happened onto something special.
Yeah. If you like compare it to, it just looks different than any of the other Oscar films that are being nominated. And you're right, it feels different. For Imran, you said you've seen how many? 5, 6?
5 out of 8.
What's your favorite?
So Judas and the Black Messiah. Very good. I love Sound of Metal. I love Trial of the Chicago 7. Nomadland was good. I'm kind of in agreement with you guys. It's nice. It's pretty to look at. It's real. But Judas was great. I really love Sound of Metal for the way it made me feel about hearing loss and how it got into your head and made you feel, so good. But Trial is good too. But that's Aaron Sorkin. He's so talky. If anything, Sound of Metal, it's got my boy Riz Ahmed in there.
Overall, I'll just say a couple more things. The overall tone of these movies is actually very depressing.
They're all very depressing. Yes.
The only one that's really kind of rousing is Trial of Chicago 7. Minari's funny. Yeah. There's also some like sad stuff in there. So like it's very sad. Yeah. If I had to make a quick spiel, if you're not listening on Patreon and I had to sell, because I don't know how many of our listeners actually watch Oscar movies like this all the time. Yeah. I didn't until last year.
Yes, until the pandemic.
But now I guess I'm an expert. The Father's like a very good performance about dementia. Really, it's The Father's like one of those movies that they'll put on the shit mindfuck movies.
Oh, really?
It's edited in a way that you're in his head feel like you have dementia.
So is it like what Sound of Metal does for hearing loss? The Father does for dementia. Wow, I gotta see this. Yeah. I gotta see this.
It's interesting, and it's not like trying to mindfuck you.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Right. Wow.
This is how he remembers things. Judas, we've talked about, biopic, disguised as a crime drama. Yeah. Mank is boring. Don't watch Mank. Yeah. Minari's funny as hell. It's super charming. Yeah. It's about Koreans in Arkansas in 1984, and it's not at all about racism. So there's that. Nomadland we talked about. Yeah. Promising Young Woman.
This one I gotta watch. I want to see.
Is a wild fucking movie with crazy shifts in tone. If the ending though is either you're in on the ending or you're not, and the ending is a little controversial.
I like that.
Sound of Metal we've talked about. If you feel like you're deaf, and then Trial we've reviewed. So there's the quick spiel on all of those.
April 25th, the Oscars will air at from two locations, Union Station and the Dolby Theater. I don't know what they're doing, but some of the people will be there. It'll just be the presenters.
Speaking of awards, did you guys watch the Grammys?
I watched a little bit of it. I heard there was quite a racy performance from Megan Thee Stallion and what's her name? WAP.
That's what her name is, Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah,
and,
WAP.
WAP. Nicki Minaj. No,
the other one.
Cardi B.
Cardi B. That's the fucking one.
I was hearing from my friend. I didn't watch it at all. I was hearing from my friends they kind of liked the format where it was like just the artists. They had a big sound stage. They could do like elaborate performances.
Yeah, Trevor Noah was hosting. Yeah, so they had different stages and there were tables, people wearing masks, but just the artists and the presenters were there. There was no crowd or paparazzi, which I'm sure is nice and not crazy like it usually is. But listener, look, April 25th, let us know. If you're watching the Oscars, join the conversation, join our Facebook group.
I'll be the only one. Me and Joe.
I watch it. I fucking watch the Oscars every year. I want to know. I always like to see who wins and what everybody's doing, and I enjoy it. Jock and Nerd Nation.
Don't let them speak.
Yes, no. I like when they get cut off and it's all awkward. Like, that's the best part. They fucking play the music and they're like, I'm not done. That's hilarious.
Hopefully the Oscars learned from the Globes, because the Globes was a freaking train wreck.
Yeah, that was a train wreck. The Emmys were even a little bit better, but that was kind of a shit show. So enough.
Grammys, I heard, did well.
Yeah, so time has passed. People are figuring out the format, and that's another reason to watch is like, how are they going to do this? But they did already say viewership is probably going to be the lowest it's ever.
It's going to be shitty.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's no big movie that got nominated.
Right.
So.
I want to welcome new listeners to our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation. Welcome Andy Stevens, and welcome back Seth Morgan.
Oh, shit.
Which means it's going to get interesting up in the...
Well, he's always been listening, though. So.
Yeah, welcome back to the Facebook group. Moving on. You guys, we now have a show account for the Paramount Plus streaming. And this is now the 8th fucking streaming service that I get, right?
Holy shit.
This is all the major 8 ones. So I thought we could give our listeners a quick rundown on our initial thoughts, performance, the interface, what's on there. What do you guys think? I have some information, but Ruggs, let's start with you since you had shit all about the Oscars.
I have nothing to say about anything.
I know, it's fine. You haven't seen
and
the
he's probably seen the most movies out of
I know, but not those movies.
This is a different kind of year for me.
Yeah. Pandemic, everything is upside down, right?
Yeah, it's topsy-turvy.
Anthony's watching all the movies. Ruggs hasn't seen it. It's all fucked up.
Ruggs is watching, like, actively seeking out C and D list movies.
Yeah, he's watching B movies. It's all backwards. Everything is backwards, just like Tenet. So we're getting inverted through our geekdom.
I'm watching anything with Frank Grillo in it. That's my new,
just Frank Grillo movies. Oh, we'll get to that. I can comment on that now. Ruggs, Paramount Plus, initial thoughts. What do you think of the way it looks, the way it's laid out, what they got on there? What do you got?
Well, I don't like the interface at all. I think that is the biggest thing against it that I have. I mean, I was sitting there watching Ren and Stimpy. Yeah. I was surprised that Robin Big wasn't on there. I was surprised that a lot of shit wasn't on there, but I watched the new Real World where they have the old cast
the reunion.
From New York.
You watched the reunion? I haven't watched that yet.
There's only 2 episodes. They're doing it piecemeal.
Okay.
But that was interesting. There's movies on there. There's like Mission Impossible movies. There's all kinds of shit on there. There's some. Is there exclusive content?
There is original content. Nothing terribly exciting.
You got Star Trek. The Star Treks. Yeah, you got all that shit.
They'll have the Avatar stuff, right?
Yes, they have the cartoon Avatar, The Last Airbender,
and they're that's gonna be original.
So they have the
SpongeBob.
They got the whole Godfather trilogy, all 4 Indiana Jones movies, Chinatown, Zodiac, Minority Report, Jackie Brown, Election, stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of Tom Cruise movies.
Classic TV, classic Nickelodeon. Anthony, the setup of this is like everything else, really.
They're. I mean, at this point, they're not reinventing the wheel.
It looks
here.
like all the other things. They got hubs.
Yeah, they're copying the Disney Plus, HBO Max, where they have the different hubs. They're adding like the Peacock thing, where you have a live stream of like news and like different things. You know, it looks fine to me. I didn't poke around too much. I looked at a little bit of stuff. I looked at the MTV stuff because that's the stuff that kind of related to me. I looked at a lot of the old Real Worlds. I watched a show called Next back in 2005 and 6.
Oh,
it was fun rewatching that and looking at the fashion of that time and just how stupid that game show was.
Oh yeah, it was terrible.
Shit,
yeah.
they got The State on here. Highly recommend The State,
The State.
MTV sketch comedy show. The guys that were on Reno 911, this is what they were on before.
I think they're bringing back Behind the Music too.
Oh yeah, and they're going to bring back Unplugged and Yo MTV Raps, I believe, which is great.
They don't have a lot of episodes on some of these things. I feel like there's missing stuff.
Yeah,
they'll.
Well, I'm going to watch The State. I just discovered this. I used to love that fucking show.
Like they had Behind the Music, which I like to watch.
How about did the Anthony, for you and your age group, the classic Nickelodeon hub? So the hubs here, you got CBS, BET, Comedy Central, MTV, Nickelodeon, Smithsonian. They're leading into a lot of 90s nostalgia in the Nickelodeon hub, it seems.
I actually didn't look at the Nickelodeon club or hub.
Club hub.
Yeah, I mean, Paramount, it's just when you first get onto these things, I feel like I get almost too overwhelmed by what's there, and I quit and leave.
Yes.
So it's going to take some time for me to get used to what's on Paramount and exploring that.
In terms of originals, like you said, Ruggs, they have the Star Trek, Picard, Discovery. They have a remake of The Stand, Stephen King's The Stand, but I heard wasn't that good, but I love The Stand. I
think you might like the new Star Trek.
I was checking out the new Twilight Zone, Jordan Peele's. That's really, that's pretty good. Yeah. They're 30, 40-minute episodes, all-star cast, different people, anthology. Not bad. Another couple of things to note about this. What's weird, they got Comedy Central, but South Park is exclusive to HBO Max. So you got a Comedy Central hub with no South Park, right? I thought the live TV really set this apart. You could watch.
Doesn't Peacock do that?
Peacock does do that with NBC, but it's pretty clunky. This one's a little bit better, and it's basically what's on CBS now in your location.
Yeah, I saw that was cool.
That's
though.
Great.
You could go to LA, CBS.
You could check out
York,
different,
CBS.
different local. So the live TV and the live sports, that's huge here, I think, for them.
One thing that you can't do on this is you can't save anything to a watch list.
Yeah, that's annoying. There's no way to add to my stuff. I noticed that. I don't like that. They have to add that in because that's important. But you can edit the keep watching. Where you have the keep watching bar or the stuff you watch. You can edit that, which is nice.
I was watching John Campia the other day because they were talking about the streamers and the streaming wars and how it's how it used to be the sell was it's cheaper than cable.
Yes,
and
not anymore.
Now it's clearly not, right?
No,
it's not cheaper than cable.
No.
But the thing is we're in the phase right now where they're still trying to acquire customers. Yeah. So this is what John Campia said, and I agree. The prices on these are all going to go up, and all of these streamers will probably have some already have and some are still getting their feet, but they're all going to have things that are considered probably must watch.
Yeah, at least one or two must watch things.
Right?
Yes.
So you're going to be dipping your toes in all of these, and I think there's the thought that people will skip around, but then he brought up the stat 70% of the people that have a gym membership don't even go to the gym. Well, once you're in, you forget that you even are paying for some of this stuff. Yeah. But I guess the question I had for you guys is, since this is going to be more expensive, John Campia was making the argument that this is still way better than cable TV, even if it's more expensive because it's all at your hands, direct to consumer. Yeah. You have everything, you can watch it whenever you're not scrolling through. So do you guys like the amount of streamers and that it's all at your fingertips, or what would you not like?
I think that the biggest issue is that there's too much cross-pollination between these things. There's some stuff on Hulu that's on Amazon that they're not distinct enough in what they offer, and a lot of it's just a lot of it's just I guess too spread out. What they curate is not necessarily what I want. I wish I could actually have a little bit more input to what they're curating.
Right.
Because as I said, MTV came on. MTV has that channel alone has 1,000 things that I would watch. but they don't have them all. Like they don't have Jackass. I don't think they have Robin Big.
Jackass.
No, they don't have Jackass. There's a lot of licensing issues. But the counter to that, Ruggs, is because this is CBS Viacom, they own all this stuff for Paramount. It's not going to go away, unlike some of the other streaming things where that also gets annoying. HBO Max, Netflix, things come and go. So you're like, I remember watching this here, and you go back and it's not there anymore.
Yeah, that is annoying too. So it's like the whole thing is that this stuff kind of like it goes around the robin. It's like, oh, it's on Amazon, it's on Hulu, now it's on this, it's on that. Like, you got to kind of. Friends was like floating around for a while.
Yeah,
and now
but they're making, these companies are paying hundreds of millions of dollars for these catalog deals, and things are getting shuffled around. I like I said, I have 8 of these things now, but part of it is for the show. Because, we need to be able to talk about it.
We have it
but
for the show.
8 of them, and I don't watch all of them each every day. But
what do you watch the most? Let's give me the top 3 things that you watch.
I will say I find myself every weekend, there's one thing on like half of them that I want to get to. So I find myself going back to, it depends. Sometimes it's HBO Max, Disney, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon.
So you're on HBO Max first.
It depends. Like this week, I wanted to watch Cherry. I haven't got Cherry. I heard it's not good. It's Tom Holland, Russo brothers. That's on Apple TV Plus, and Apple TV Plus is also giving me new episodes of For All Mankind. So like every Friday, I got to check in there. So it's a lot to follow.
Right,
it's a lot of things, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. I've been dipping into Hulu a lot.
Yeah, there's fun shit on Hulu.
Yeah, I find that there's some funny shit on Hulu. They got some good stuff here and there. I didn't think I would be. I didn't think I was going to be on that as much as I have been.
No, right now on Paramount Plus, there's a documentary called Console Wars about like Nintendo versus Sega. I'm definitely fucking checking that out. One thing this has plus over some others, you can stream 4K right away. They have 4K content, and it's available everywhere. Amazon Fire TV, Android, Apple TV, all iOS devices, Chromecast, LG Smart TVs, the PlayStation 4, Roku, Samsung Smart TVs, Vizio TVs, all the Xbox One, Series X, and on your Infinity box.
Wow.
Fucking everywhere. Relatively affordable. We're at the $9.99 a month plan, which is ad-free, but there's a $5.99 ad-supported, which HBO Max is adding a $5.99 ad-supported tier now after this comes out. They've decided to do the same thing.
It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out and if these all can sustain.
I don't know.
I think was it Peacock?
Yeah,
I think I saw a stat. Peacock lost almost $1 billion in its first year of operating.
Wow.
But do you think that's a lot? And then you realize, like, a lot of, I think Netflix still loses.
Yeah.
Or there's Netflix was losing billions. So like, we'll see how it kind of plays out. I will say that I do think it is better than like cable TV in terms of like the value add, like of terms of having everything at your fingertips.
Stuff,
and it's almost like there's almost too much stuff.
It's
now.
overwhelming for sure.
I try and put this in perspective. Okay, like when I had just cable and Netflix, right? This is like a few years ago before there was all this other shit out, and maybe Amazon. I had the entirety of, I don't know how many cable channels I had, like 800.
Right.
And like, like maybe you watch maybe 50 of them, but 50 of them, and they all have their own,
yeah.
And they all have their own shows, right? So it's kind of like the difference is that we weren't conscious of the shows because we'd be very, very decisive about what we watch. You just see like the guide and you just, it's just a name. Now, like, you have these tiles and you can look at the thing. You can watch a trailer. Now you can kind of get into more shows because you have this interactivity that you didn't have. It's just crazy. Like, go into your Fios or if you whatever you have, Xfinity, and look at your on demand and look how much shit that there is there. It's fucking endless.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff there to watch all the time.
So it's
for
like
free.
the same thing almost, except it's just instead of it all being on your cable box, it's like
it's scattered on several apps.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's get down to the question. Is this worth it? Here's my take. Right now, I'm not sure if it's worth it for everyone. If you are a fan of CBS shows, if you are a fan of Nickelodeon, MTV, Star Trek, you must watch the new Star Trek. Definitely, I would say it's worth it. I think it will become worth it later because, again, I mentioned before, what got me excited is that new movies like Mission Impossible 7, A Quiet Place sequel, will be premiering 45 days after the movie releases in theaters.
Geek boner.
This, I think, is going to be a big selling point, and the live TV is great. I think it'll get to be worth it more down the line.
So if you had to, how did you rank them out of the top to the bottom?
So out of the 8 I have, this thing is probably at the bottom right now.
I think Peacock's at the bottom.
Peacock's at the bottom, and then this is above. Yes. And I haven't really spent that much time, but content-wise.
And then Apple TV?
Then I would put Apple
and
TV.
Amazon.
Then Amazon. This is good. Yeah.
Then this is where I can't.
Then it gets hard.
Hulu, HBO, Disney,
Netflix.
Or is it? I don't know what the order is.
Yeah, no, I would agree with. It's somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. That's pretty good ranking.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Imran. I think right now it just depends on your taste. Like if you're, like you mentioned, into all those things, then and into the nostalgia of all that stuff, then you have it right away. Yeah. I think I think all of these eventually will be. I don't know if the term it's like worth it, but they'll have all of these. I think are going to have or already have like quality content. Like I think the amount of investment and money in these streaming services and in terms of original content, like. Sure, they're going to have there's going to be some misses, but I think there's a very big push within Hollywood to make quality content because you're going direct to consumer, and that consumer can cancel their membership any month, right? Yeah. So you continually have to prove it, right, every month. Yep. And I think eventually that's exciting. Streaming services, that's exciting. Yes. I think eventually these streaming services are going to lock people into year contracts because the volatility and losing people every month, it's going to be too much at some point.
Absolutely.
But I think right now is a very good time in terms of content because, like I said, they're putting their best foot forward all the time right now.
They have to. Ruggs, what do you think? Worth it? Yay or nay?
I mean, I think that if you don't have cable, it's worth it.
Yes,
because you can pretty much get everything that you want.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't even need half of this. Like to really be happy, you could probably lose a couple.
Yeah.
And and still feel like you're connected to a lot of shit.
Absolutely. Still feel like you're part of the conversation. That's another thing. That's FOMO is going to get people to sign up to fucking things, right?
Yeah. I mean, like it's the same thing as cable. Like there's the guys who had regular basic cable and maybe one premium channel. And then there was the asshole who had everything and the fucking sports.
Dude, and I got HBO because everybody was fucking talking about The Sopranos.
Do you remember the days? This wasn't that long ago when there were those guys that had everything, and then you would like go to their house and they'd be like super ecstatic to show you they had HBO 3 and
like these HBO.
Showtime Latin America, like they had like everything. Oh,
yeah. You're like, why do you have this?
It's like I got everything. I got all the channels. I got even the on-demand channels. I got all this stuff, and I got the black box.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares the black box.
I got Greek TV.
I get shit from Siberia. You want to watch? Yeah. You want to watch some
I
Russian
got the
Wonder
Zimbabwe
Years?
Olympics. Yeah. I got everything.
You want to watch the Flintstones in Spanish? I got it. Anything you want, I can do it. Well, look, let's talk about Disney Plus, the top tier streaming service, because they're putting out a lot of exciting things.
They're over 100 million subscribers.
Disney Plus just announced in March that they are over 100 million subscribers. Took them 16 months to do that. It took Netflix 10 years to reach 100 million.
2 years ahead of schedule.
Holy shit. That's unbelievable. And it's not going to stop because Falcon and Winter Soldier, two big things premiering this week for us. Falcon and Winter Soldier being one of them this Friday. Social media reactions to the first episode are out and some reviews, and they're saying it's largely positive, of course. A lot of action.
A lot of what you would expect.
A lot of what you expect, more traditional than the crazy WandaVision. And there was a new final trailer. Did you guys get a chance to check out this trailer?
No, I've been avoiding it because I don't want to get spoiled.
Okay, I mean it's not.
I checked it out.
It's not bad. It's not that spoilerly, and I didn't want to see it either. It does get me super pumped.
Geek boner.
With the action it shows. This series, much like WandaVision, written by one person, one vision, one voice, directed by one person, giving it one solid vision. This one's director Kari Skoglund. She's doing the whole series. She has directed episodes of The Handmaid's Tale, The Walking Dead, The Americans, Boardwalk Empire, House of Cards, and an episode of The Punisher for Netflix.
Geek boner.
Pretty good resume there for the director.
Classic resume.
The classic resume. Also, let's not forget we're going to get Sharon Carter. A lot of bad guys. You got U.S. Agent. You got Zemo and George St. Pierre. Batroc the Leaper.
Batroc the Leaper, yeah.
Will be back. So what's your, let me get a check on your level and anticipation. And my big question is, can this be even buzzier? Can the hype, the theories be even crazier and bigger than what we just went through in a wonderful 8 weeks of WandaVision in the next 6 weeks? Can it get bigger?
It could. I mean, to be honest with you, this is not really on my radar right now.
Ah, interesting.
As I'm anticipating the Snyder cut and
we'll get into that.
Godzilla.
A lot of stuff coming out.
And I'm like, oh, this is gonna. You want to know why? Because I know it's gonna be. I'm gonna watch one episode, and then by the time I'm like really smack dab in the middle of it and really psyched, like, you know, that'll be 3 weeks from now.
In Act 2, well, yeah, 6 hours. It's 6 parts.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get one episode. Is it gonna be a fucking half hour long? Like, what am I gonna see?
These are gonna be like long, like 40-minute episodes. It's gonna be a 6 hour thing, 6 weeks. So I think they'll be close to an hour.
I'm like, I'm not looking forward to it. It's just like, it's just kind of like in the order of things that I'm excited about. It's probably like third or fourth.
Wow,
yeah,
interesting.
Because there's a lot to stream.
There's a lot to look forward to. Anthony, what about you?
You know, I'm in the bag for all this shit. I'm excited. As far as, can it be like more buzzy than WandaVision? We'll have to see. WandaVision kind of lent itself to being buzzy because it was a mystery. Yeah. Then they teased you halfway through with the X-Men thing. So we'll see like what the intent of the show is. I think this is more of like, they've kind of been able to do the spy espionage thing really well. So I think this is more like within what they know how to do. So I think it'd probably be good. I did read that the first episode ends on like a cliffhanger.
Nice.
So we'll see. I like those characters. So.
Show me Winter Soldier, the TV show. You know, that's kind of what I'm expecting, that kind of tone and that level of writing and espionage. But it's such a different thing than WandaVision, and it's crazy that this was going to be first, and that came up first, and it was so weird, and it got so big, and pulled in so many people. It's going to be really interesting to see. We're kind of going back to like the vanilla Marvel, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like if it continue like the WandaVision stuff. Does it like just seep into this and it just keep escalating, or is there like a cool down? We'll see.
Yeah, I can't wait. A lot of people in the group are excited. And the other thing to get excited for, Bugs, you just mentioned, is Zack Snyder's Jack's brother, Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's brother, Zack, has made a movie. It's 4 hours long. It's called Zack Snyder's Justice League, a film by Zack Snyder, directed by Zack Snyder.
Is that what it's called?
Something like that. And that will also come out this Thursday. And he's revealed that there's actually an epilogue. There's a 7th chapter called A Father Twice Over.
Whoa.
So, and I also heard, this movie that we know the backstory, it's a redo of the Justice League. And it's a one and done. And it ends on a cliffhanger.
What?
Why would you do that? This isn't going anywhere. Apparently it ends on a cliffhanger.
They're going to restart the Snyderverse.
I don't think so.
So apparently this is getting good reviews.
Yeah, on Rotten Tomatoes. So I've seen reviews that are like mixed, but they're from like, this is amazing to, just an improvement. Definitely an improvement over the 2017 movie. It's at 75% on the tomato meter. The Joss Whedon one is, I think, 40% on tomato meter.
I find that this is so hilarious because, like, you can't just watch this movie without baggage now. Like, there's like the Snyder Bros, like that. They're supposedly the villains here that are like they're gonna see their movie do well, and then no one wants to hear from them. It's like it's funny like that. This has become baggage attached.
There's like a fun conversation, not funny, but like an interesting conversation. Because the fans basically made this movie, so I feel
they have to love it.
I mean, exactly. I feel like they're almost obligated, right? Like if you're the fan that was like begging for this, and then it's complete shit. It's kind of your fault, right?
A little bit.
You made this happen.
You wanted this, but critics.
What about the gloating? Because it is probably good.
I think there's going to be gloating, and it sounds like it might actually be a better movie, slightly. Than what we got.
Let's put it this way though. I have my obvious problems with the Snyderverse and how this was going. I am willing to watch this because that Justice League was a Frankenstein movie. It doesn't have much more. Like, it can't go anywhere than up, right?
It has a low bar. Absolutely.
BVS was so bad.
It can't be worse,
in my opinion. And Justice League was just mess. So.
You'd have to work hard to make it worse than that movie. My only concern,
but the only thing, 4 hours.
Yeah.
Though.
So a lot of people had a problem with the runtime. My only concern is this is what I think we're going to get, much like the movie we're going to review, Tenet, where it's this is the most Zack Snyder movie ever. So I'm just afraid. Nobody said no, and they just let him do everything, and that's why it's fucking 4 hours.
Well, listen, I don't, and this is going to be a shocker to everyone, is that I don't hate Zack Snyder like everybody does. Shit. Now, I'm not a Snyder bro by any means. I wasn't sitting there clamoring for this or campaigning for this movie, but I did like what he brought to certain movies. I felt like he had a flair.
There's a style.
Yeah. He's not the best with, he's not the best with playing with other people's toys sometimes, but I do like I think that he does bring something, his own thing. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. Now, we're going to see now what that is. Like, I mean, I feel like 300 is a very Zack Snyder movie.
Yeah.
I enjoy that movie because it is like a overly macho, ridiculous movie.
Yeah.
And I like shit like that.
Well, you might get that in this.
And I like stupid movies that are just about people beating each other in slow-mo. So every once in a while, not all the time. I like
slow motion fight scenes.
I don't know if it's, I mean, look, it might be too much slow-mo. We probably already know this going in. There's going to be a lot of slow-mo, a lot of music video.
I'll be keeping a running timer on the slow-mo. But man,
I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping that it's at least enjoyable.
How are you guys going to watch this? You're going to use the chapters? You're going to plow through it in once? I feel like it may be too heavy to sit through in one fucking
No, I'm
view.
going to watch it in once. I'm going to drink coffee and watch it in one sitting.
This is this weekend too, right?
Yes, we're going to be reviewing 5 hours of shit next week.
I will sit there and watch it in one sitting. It might take me 5 to 6 hours to finish it, but I feel like I owe it to myself. I don't owe it to anybody. I feel like just getting the real experience of it is what it has to be. If he's going to make a 4-hour film that we're going to have to review, and I would probably watch it anyways in a movie theater just because I want to see what this is, I might as well sit there and tough out the 4 hours.
You see, like I recently watched,
like a big boy, Anthony.
I recently watched Spartacus, like during the summer.
Yeah, how long is that?
And that's a fucking 4-hour movie almost. It's and Gone with the Wind.
Gandhi with the Windy is a long one. Yeah.
So, like, I mean, if it's a good movie and it doesn't feel like it's like punishing me, I'll be happy. But I don't know if I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, when's this fucking thing gonna be? Are you serious?
Like, think of some of his heavy hand, like punishing you. You talk about, and Snyder is notorious for heavy-handed punishing people with tone over and over again. So 4 hours of this, I'm gonna want to slit my throat at the end of this. Is that what's gonna happen?
Well, it's got the added thing that you've already seen this movie before.
I know what kind of
now,
happens. Yes.
Now you're like not even surprised by what happens because you kind of know the whole movie.
That's why I think I'm going to enjoy this fucking ridiculous Zack Snyder over the top stuff. Can't wait. Listener, get yourself some podcast merchandise swag. Visit our TeePublic shop, jockandnerd.com/shop. You can get the new logo on t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers, masks, all sorts of things.
Condoms.
Not yet. I'm still working on it. Still working on a sponsorship with the good people over at Magnum. No, I'm not. I don't know. They refused to print my face on a condom and they hung up on me.
What about my face?
You can have,
I was thinking more.
You can have Red Boy's face on your face and chest right now. Visit jockandnerd.com/shop. Jack and Nerd. Jack Snyder. Last thing in the news. Let's wrap it up with this. Avatar has now overtaken Avengers Endgame as the all-time highest grossing film worldwide. Why? How did this happen? They re-released the movie in China this past weekend. It added $12 million to the total, and it was only like $7 or $8 million behind. So Avatar's worldwide gross now $2.802 billion versus Endgame's $2.797 billion. Marvel, I'm looking at you. Re-release Endgame.
Oh, shit.
This is some bullshit.
You want Endgame to be the one that holds the most money.
You know what? It doesn't matter because Disney owns both movies now.
Oh,
if you think about it.
Well, they do, but I'm saying you would rather it go to Endgame.
I'd rather go to Endgame, but also the fact Zoe Saldana is in 2 of the highest grossing movies, and they're both owned by Disney.
I'll make the case why it should go to Endgame. I feel like Avatar, well, it's like the only movie in this, but like in the movies that have made this much money, is there any movie other than Avatar that no one ever really talks about anymore?
Who's fans of this movie? Where are the people dressed?
And I'll fully admit, when I first saw Avatar in the movie theater, I was mind blown. I was like, "This is crazy."
It's Pocahontas with tails.
But I haven't thought about it since.
Where are the cosplayers dressed up like Na'vi? I don't see them.
Like, I think that the reason why is because they haven't made anything else. They just
he's working on it.
They just let it. They just let it go into obscurity. He's in the bottom of the ocean
trying to fucking find shit.
I mean, like, Blade was an amazing movie, but no one talks about it anymore. But like,
but Blade's universally recognized as like one of the best sci-fi films ever.
Yeah, it's like a cult.
But does like Avatar like is it like Terminator? Is it like Aliens? Is it?
Well, in terms of a special effects 3D film, yeah, I think it was something.
I just wish it didn't have a derivative story. You know, could have been a little.
Yeah, but every story is derivative.
I guess, but like so overtly, like it's the same beats.
I just don't feel like I don't know. I don't feel like the Na'vi have been like ingrained in our culture like other big sci-fi things.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the story's over, and I don't know how you're going to progress this into something else, but I'm interested to see what he does. Yeah, I don't know.
The next one, underwater. The whole thing. That's how he progresses.
That's what he's been doing.
The whole thing's going to be an underwater planet, like Pandora, but underwater. So.
James Cameron. I like James Cameron.
I love Cameron. I can't. You always want to see the next fucking Cameron.
So I guess it's going to be another person becoming an avatar in another alien race.
Sure.
And we're going to learn about this other alien race.
And then he's going to do that 3 more times because he's making 4 of them. I don't know who asked for 5 Avatar movies.
I'm not saying it's a bad film. I'm just saying it's just not weird. Enduring
it's
film.
Weird. All right, gang. We will take a break here, play some promos, and come back and mind fuck the fuck out of your mind as we try to figure out what happens in Tenet right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I'm Imran.
And I'm Sophia.
I'm the brother.
And I'm the sister. And we are watching a show about cousins.
We're your hosts for Dance of Joy, a Perfect Strangers rewatch podcast.
We grew up watching the 80s hit sitcom, and now we'd like you to join us every week as we rediscover our love for our favorite TV cousins, Balky and Larry.
You can find our show at danceofjoypod.com and on all major podcast platforms. Now we are so happy, Sophia, we do the Dance of Joy.
Imran, this is a podcast. They can't see us.
Oh.
Hey, my name is Paul, and I'm not an animal expert.
I'm Donna, and I'm not an animal expert either.
And together we do a podcast about animals called Varmints.
Every week, we pick an animal, do a bunch of research on it, and bring you some interesting facts about that animal.
But we don't stop there. We talk about that animal in movies, TV, and other pop culture.
And we talk about whether or not the animal would make a tasty dish, and how intelligent we think that animal is on a scale of 1 to 10.
It's exactly like one of those fancy PBS nature documentaries.
Except not at all like that really in any way.
We're on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from. And we're at BlazingCaribouStudios.com.
Listener, if you enjoy the show and want to show your love and support and you want more show, join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
Where for as little as $3 a month gets you bonus content and exclusive RSS feed with lots of bonus audio. The shows come out early, tons of fun things. Oh my God, so many things happened this week. I have so many people to thank. We have some amazing listeners and supporters. All right, here we go. Thank you to the following people. David Zika, Zika's Viral Comics, thank you for increasing your pledge.
Whoa.
David Zika is our second ever patron.
Oh, shit.
He has been supporting us since 2016.
Jesus.
Do you remember we first learned about David because he did not agree with us?
He did not like our views on the Batman versus Superman. BVS and now, got us together.
Now he supports us.
This is why I love our podcast. Everyone's cool, and he's been listening since 2016. He's done so many things to help promote the show where he is. We can't thank you enough. Check out Zika's Viral Comics on eBay. It's his eBay store where he sells really cool, rare comic books. Thank you, new patron Anthony, your boy Gerald Morris from 2Ps on the podcast.
Oh, shit.
That's my guy.
He has signed up for the Patreon. Thank you, Gerald. Thank you, Glenn Smith, for increasing your support. Thank you, Roberto Rivera, for increasing your change to a hilarious number. Can you guess what he did?
69, dude.
Yes. He went from $10 to $10.69.
Fucking fantastic.
I love it. I'll take it.
Oh, shit.
Every little bit helps. See, just goes to show you a little thing like that. Blake Braden, also thank you for increasing your pledge.
Wow. Why is everyone increasing?
Don't know, and I'm not done.
I told you. It's because I mentioned that thing last week.
Listen, Discord benefits. Now with Discord benefits, Tom Walters, who has been supporting us. Thank you, Tom Walters, for increasing. He went from $1 to $10 a month.
Oh, shit.
Which means he gets to pick a movie, any movie, Tom, for us to review. Send it over. Tom also has a podcast. You can check him out over at zencommuter.com, where he teaches you how to meditate and chill out.
Cool.
We all need that.
Thanks to all of these guys for increasing or joining. It's awesome.
Unbelievable.
Awesome.
Yes. There's now Discord benefits, and eventually we're going to figure out some Discord events, everyone. It'll be even more exclusive, interactive, just for our patrons. Bonus content this week. Anthony, you put up some fun things. What did you give us?
Well, you can see what I was predicting with Gerald Morris for the Oscars.
Yep.
Prior to them coming out this on Monday. March 15th, so you can see what I was thinking and see how wrong or right I was. I think I was mostly right, but who knows. And then I reviewed The Father, which I've talked about, and I Care a Lot, which is a freaking wild movie.
That's the Rosamund Pike movie, right?
That's a movie you guys should definitely check out because it's freaking wild.
It's on Netflix, right?
It's on Netflix. Yeah. Rosamund Pike, Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage is in there. Oh,
it's basically like them two. Like one is unstoppable force, the other is like the immovable object, and they just like clash. Fuck. It's like two terrible people clashing.
Oh, I love it. And Dinklage is I miss him as Tyrion. He is amazing in everything.
He plays a mobster.
Oh shit! All right, I'm definitely checking out I Care a Lot. I saw somebody, was it Jess Rivera, posted that he hated this movie.
It's a very divisive film.
Okay,
but,
I like that. I like
wild.
the divisive movie.
It's very entertaining.
I'm gonna watch that, and then also my instant reactions will return as the Falcon and Winter Soldier starts, so you can catch an Instacast.
Oh, is that what T-Flaws was?
I didn't know what that was either.
Because I'm not typing out the Falcon and Winter Soldier every time, so you fuckers get used to the acronym.
Oh, shit.
T-Flaws. We're going to be talking about T-Flaws next week with a special guest helping us review everything. But for
I feel so internet-y.
Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon for all that shit. And again, thank you for everyone for your support. You guys are amazing. Let's get to our review. We will be reviewing Christopher Nolan's 2020 film Tenet. Tenet, or Tenet if you're French. There's no accent. Here's your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This review I am dedicating to our buddy Jimmy the Geek Graben.
Talking nerd.
A couple weeks ago, he left us a very distressed voicemail asking for a discussion of this movie because it made his head hurt and it fucked him up. And yeah, that's what this movie does. On Rotten Tomatoes, Tenet is 70%, 6.9 out of 10 average rating. This movie had a budget of $200 million.
Oh, shit.
Delayed 3 times because of the Rona. It was eventually released in the UK August 26th last year, and then in September, early September, in the U.S. The first movie, this was, of course, going to be the big movie to bring everyone back to the theaters, and it was too early, but it ends up grossing $363 million. It's okay. It's not great. It's the 5th highest grossing film of 2020, but doesn't really break even. Written and directed by Christopher Nolan, this is his 11th movie and his 5th that he has both written and directed by himself. Starring, of course, you have John David Washington as a character who doesn't have a name and is just named protagonist. You got the Robert Pattinson and a bunch of other people. Who else is notable in this? Oh, Kenneth Branagh in an unbelievable role. And then who's the girl?
The giant woman.
Yeah, she's very tall. What is her? Kat is played by Elizabeth Debicki. Very pretty, too. And, of course,
She was in Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Oh, she played the Gold Lady. Yeah, that's where I saw her. And of course, you can't have.
Oh yeah,
yeah, she was the fucking Gold Woman. You can't have a Christopher Nolan movie without Michael Caine. Who is also in this movie for really no reason, but we'll get into that. And it's long. It's 2.5 hours long. This movie. Now, Anthony, the plot is kind of the fucking problem with this movie.
Go for it, Anthony.
Oh, fuck.
I'm going to challenge you to try to explain what the fuck happens in Tenet.
Oh, man.
Good luck, and may God have mercy on your
I haven't seen this
soul.
since July, I think, or whenever it came out.
September it came out. July.
September. Is that when it came out?
I believe it came out in September in the U.S.
Oh, whatever. See? I don't even know when I saw it. This movie is in some sort of time frame where weird shit happens, and there's this secret agent that gets recruited to Tenet, and they're this agency that has found out that there are things moving back in time in our present, and while they figure this out, they figure out that whatever is happening that's moving back in time is also related to the end of the world, and they got to stop it. How about that?
Not bad. They got to stop an attack.
Yeah,
end of the world thing.
If you get too into the other stuff, it's going to be really freaking confusing.
And
more confusing than what I just said.
Yeah, that is an oversimplification, but I'll take it. But it's convoluted.
Can I ask some basic
let's
questions?
Get started. I don't even know where to fucking start.
How do they go back in time?
Well, okay, what are the rules of inversion? This movie introduces time inversion.
Is it like when your dick's not hard and it goes back in?
It's an innie instead of an outie.
Is it inverted? Okay. Yeah, I mean, how do they go back in time to like put all this stuff there? Is they have to invert and then they just walk through the world backwards until they get there?
So the turnstile, you have to go through the turnstile to invert objects or people is how you get inverted.
But basically what they're doing is they're walking through the world while everyone else is going backwards in time.
Well, the people that are back in time are going forwards, but everything is moving the opposite way. So the world is spinning the opposite way. They see everything backwards, but they think they're going forward.
Yeah, but meantime...
Now, they're not aging when they're going in.
No, they are. This is really the most ineffective way of time travel. It's real time. If you want to go back a week, you got to invert yourself through the turnstile and wait a fucking week and then come back out. Like, this is the most pointless, useless, least efficient way to time travel, but it is.
It seems a lot like the movie Primer.
It is like Primer.
And Time Crimes.
Yes.
Like rolled into one. So I don't really think it. So basically, while, this guy, what's his name?
Protagonist.
No. Christopher Nolan's like blowing himself for being like this genius. He's really just doing things that were already done in other movies.
So it's a closed loop theory, like in Primer, meaning everything that has happened has already happened. Everything was always going to. This always happened. This always happened. I will say though that this is like the title Tenet. This is he has done something I've never seen in a time travel movie, which I love, and it is making the palindrome movie. Just the idea of going through it one way and then coming back out of it as you are forward and everything's backwards, but then it's such a mindfuck concept.
Well, here's one of many issues I have with this movie. There's really no way, if someone can explain it to me, please do, but I don't think there's really a way to mentally comprehend how the people are interacting with each other. So, for instance, the guy that's going backwards in time sees someone else, or either way, they see someone moving backwards. They're going forward. Like, how do you even fight that person? How does the other person react to the punches if they're coming in backwards? Right? So, like, if I'm fighting someone from the future, his punch isn't coming forward.
It's out.
Backward.
You've already been hit by it.
I've already been hit. So how do you react to that? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, even like the reversing of the bullets doesn't make a lot of sense.
So you shoot someone by getting them in front of where the bullet was penetrated. So then when it comes back, it goes through their body.
We had an inverted wound.
Right? Remember that? Isn't that happen in the beginning? Like he shoots someone by the bullet coming back into the gun, and the guy happens to be in front.
Yeah, you catch the bullet.
But how do you plan for that?
How do
you shoot someone?
Because you already did it, and you have to. I don't know. That's
you already know where it's going to be, and yeah.
But then, like, how do the people in the but you already did it. But how do the people in the present? Like, there's clearly times when the protagonist is fighting. Spoiler alert, himself, and he's dodging punches. So how is he dodging the punches? How is he interacting?
Well, even the bullet thing where she's like, you've already dropped the bullet is inverted, you're going to catch it. But like, when did you drop the bullet to catch it? Does it just know? It's not scientifically fucking accurate, any of this.
It's not that it's science. It's just hard. You can't, it's impossible to wrap your mind around it. So
they use the word like inverted entropy. And like the concept of entropy is things will have a natural order to move into chaos. So if you invert it, everything comes back into order and becomes not like, what is that? Can you even invert entropy? The fuck is that?
Well, yeah, it goes back to where it's to point A. It reverses back to point A.
Well, I guess I don't have a problem with the entropy. I just have a problem with when people are interacting
the mechanics,
with each other.
Yeah.
The whole thing about breathing, the air is reversed, and like, I mean, basically, if they're going that granular with like the air is, you have to breathe different air, then like they're literally leaving out like a million other things that would happen to the human body that would.
Right.
Does your blood flow the other way? Also, instead of
I'd imagine your body would feel like it was in space and just explode because of all the changes that just happened.
Also, in inversion, instead of being burned by fire, you freeze. Does this make any sense? It is the opposite, but is ice the backwards of? I don't understand.
I guess it does. When he explained, I think when someone explains it, it makes sense. But at the same time, it just doesn't feel as cool as like other stuff.
No,
I feel like when I was watching it, I was just like, all right, I'm going to get this fucking movie. I'm going to watch this twice. I'm going to be the most smartest man in the room. I'm going to know this movie. And I was like, yeah, awesome. So I'm watching the movie and I'm like, all right, I'm about halfway through. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this, anything that's happening.
That's the problem.
I'm like, why don't I give a fuck about to want to know what happens? I'm like, is what's happening even entertaining?
No.
They're fucking, it's a doohickey that they're going to get and the world's going to end.
The algorithm is...
I just watched Frank Grillo do the same thing and it was fun.
Boss Level. Like, I watched Boss Level.
Yeah,
it's fucking cartoony.
It's terrible.
There's a point in the movie, I'm the same way, where I remember being in the movie theater and about an hour and 20 in, I'm like, this fucking movie is pissing me off. Because it was not only the inversion stuff, but there was like a long point in the movie where he like has to go to this art dealer and then has to go to this person. And it's like he had to keep going from like
person to person.
Person to person to find out information that at the end of the day, it was like, but does this make the movie any better? Like, it's just, you're just finding out things.
It's one thing that leads to another.
Exposition dump.
Exposition, sorry. Yes. It's just exposition dump after exposition dump for things that, like, I still don't care. Like, why do I care about the art dealer that he has to go find directions to go to this lady, to go to this one? Like, what?
Like, in Inception, it was complicated, nowhere near as complex as this, but like, you gave a shit about what they were doing. You're like, oh, I get what they were doing.
There were stakes.
It was interesting.
Seemed to be more stakes, yeah.
And just the characters, you got to know them. They didn't have this nameless name or, you know what I mean? Like, there was this thing where, like, you could tell that he kind of liked the woman a little bit or had a soft spot for her and whatever.
That is barely in this.
You're supposed to believe that Neil is really Maximilian, which is the child.
I didn't pick up on that at all until I started watching videos that at the very end, did you get this, Anthony? The kid, Kat's kid, Max, actually grows up to be Robert Pattinson's Neil.
Oh, shit.
Apparently. But I didn't get that either. So, look, the problem with this movie is Christopher Nolan has this high concept thing, and he loves his action set pieces. Great. He does one of everything that he does. The problem is all of the dialogue is pretty much exposition. He is explaining.
And you can't hear half of it.
Well, there's that also. I have the captions on, but he's explaining this movie. The movie is explaining itself to you while it's happening, and it's still fucking confusing. You learn nothing about these
What I
people.
think happened is Nolan was like, I made a cool thing with Inception. I made Memento. I kind of want to do something similar. I have this great idea, and I think it's so fucking amazing that I can't. My head is so far up my ass.
I think that what happened was there was too many times through the turnstile, and then there at one point, like Neil was like, there was like 7 of them.
Yeah, Neil has the most confusing timeline of them all. And yes, every time they go through the turnstile, there's like 2 to 5 versions of you existing at once, and you're not supposed to interact with each other.
What I feel like he forgot. First off, he forgot like how to explain things, but I also feel like he forgot like how to relate to a moviegoer. Like, first off, the protagonist, we don't really know anything about this person.
About him.
He just, it's just like an arc of someone you think would be cool, but nothing like relatable. And then you're never able to really like communicate to the audience what's going on, why I should care, why any of this matters, how to wrap your head around any of it. It's like, I feel like he forgot about the audience, and he just made the film that he wanted to make, which is great. But it wasn't really that relatable. Yeah, people got to watch it.
There's going to be assholes who are going to be like, this is a masterpiece. And it might be, but like, you're going to have to really fucking press really hard for me to fucking get interested in this, give it a second chance. Like, you're really, like, that's how like turned off I was after I saw it.
Did you watch it again?
I watched bits and pieces again.
You have to watch this movie like 3 or 4 times, I think now.
But I don't want to. It's not even that enjoyable.
I enjoyed it the second time a little bit better. There is certain fucking crazy things that he does, and I'll get into some of that, but largely it comes out cold and soulless is the problem.
That's my problem with the film, is it's not one of those that I want to revisit either.
And it's long, which doesn't help revisiting, but at least one other time, it is rewarding, like all good time travel movies, to watch again. Now, Chris Nolan, you could see this concept developing in his whole career, from Memento to Inception. He has had this idea for like 10 years, but it is the most Christopher Nolan movie ever. Check this out. Here's a list of things this movie has. This is a list of things every Christopher Nolan movie has. This movie has everything. It has a nonlinear plot. It has a protagonist in a suit. It has a damsel in distress. There's a dead spouse. There's your silhouette shot. There's masks. There's a resurrection. There's explosions. There's rich people doing things. There's a shadowy antagonist. There's planes crashing or breaking. And of course, Michael Caine. What the fuck is Michael Caine even doing in this movie? It was just another stop for him to tell him to go to this other thing. And then let's get to that. This is what annoyed me the most. The plane crash scene, I loved it because he bought a real plane. This is a real stunt. He loves to do practical stunts. But when I thought about why Neil comes up with the plan to crash the plane, I was like, wait a minute. You want to crash a plane into armory that's going to set off the security in this underground bunker so you can get a Goya that's not even there to bring back to this lady so that she'll introduce you to her fucking husband? Is that what we're doing? This is what is happening in this fucking movie?
Why are you putting people through this?
You spelling that out is exactly why I don't like this film.
Holy shit. And the movie is full of convoluted shit like this. At the same time, it reminds me a little bit of James Bond, Little Talented Mr. Ripley, Little Edge of Tomorrow with the battle scene at the end.
But those movies have a character you're drawn to. The protagonist, I like John David Washington.
He's a great actor, but you don't know nothing.
You don't do it. There's nothing. You get 0.
I mean, I'd argue that Kenneth Branagh steals the show. He is like a Bond villain, cartoony Russian Bond villain, and he's just going in all in, and he's crazy. But even his plan is crazy, and this fucking algorithm, the algorithm that's like Infinity Stones, that's broken up into 9 places across the world, and it's this big fucking clunky shish kebab thing. What the fuck is this? This is what this is gonna destroy this giant stupid looking thing.
Yeah, it was really a letdown that this weird clunky thing is the thing. I was trying to scratch my head. Okay. The guy goes to dig for plutonium. Do people do that?
Yeah. No, that's okay. Like after Chernobyl, you had crews, or after there's a nuclear
So there's just a guy in like a really like low rent hazmat suit just digging.
If you watch the HBO series Chernobyl, these dudes volunteered. They had to send them out like 3 minutes at a time, and then they were done forever because of the radiation to clear fucking Chernobyl. It was wild. So yes.
All right. So then he finds this thing.
Yes.
That who left it? He left himself that?
Some of the people in the future who started this war, which is this whole thing is vague, who invented this reverse entropy, send the stuff back.
Somebody left this capsule that with money and one piece of the time.
He has inverted gold being sent to him to pay for things. Yes. Yeah, none of this makes sense.
So yeah, I'm like, okay, so he finds this thing, and so he's destined to be the guy to end the world or to restart the world or to invert the world.
Well, then he goes back
and shove it up his ass.
He goes back to the 70s. No, and then his plan is to invert the world, and initially to stop global warming and pollution, but he's also dying of cancer, conveniently, of course.
I love that they like just randomly throw in at the end, oh, this is also like a global awareness.
This is an eco-warrior movie, of course. The fuck?
It's like,
really?
As if we didn't have enough going on. This is also this guy's motivation. Yeah, I mean, some of these, like, I gotta admit, I hadn't seen the movie in a while, so some of these minor details I'd already forgotten about. And I chose to forget about. I mean, this is the type of movie, like, I walked out of the theater and I went, man, that was disappointing, and my head hurts.
Oh, man.
And then the more I thought about this movie, I'm like, what the fuck happened to Christopher Nolan? Like, Jesus Christ. I honestly felt like he forgot how to make a movie.
But
like, he made all the technical things are great.
It's technically brilliant.
Yes, but you have to be able to connect to the audience.
Yeah.
At some point, all the technical categories are great. No. But if the audience member, me sitting there, doesn't understand what the fuck is going on,
happening, and especially the temporal pincer movement, which is mentioned several times, and at the end they do it where there's one team coming real time, and then there's an inverted team going backwards, and then they like blow up a building, and then the reverse comes back up at the what? I'm like, what is happening?
The top and the bottom at the same time.
Yeah, it goes down and goes up at the same time. What? I could not fucking follow. Here's another thing that bugged me: the car chase scene. Like, he has to have a car chase scene in every movie, but is the car inverted also? Why wouldn't the car drive forward, or wouldn't it be turned around, going backwards if he's driving backwards and they're following at the same time?
I don't know. It's a cool scene.
It is a cool scene
on its own.
Does it make sense?
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, how does the car inverted? But made my head hurt. It does make your head hurt.
I feel like this was the type of movie where, like, you know, Nolan's at the point in his career where he can go to anyone and do whatever he wants, right? And I feel like this is the type of movie where, like, he was unchained.
Yeah.
Like, he had a gigantic budget to create whatever he wanted with a clean slate. He just did it. Yeah. And he, you know, power to the guy for making original content. But I think he needed someone to, like, talk to him.
Yes.
Hey man, let's rein some of this back a little.
As brilliant as anybody is, right? Not all your decisions are going to be fucking amazing. You need an editor or somebody.
Well, I mean, like, look, as someone who's been watching movies a lot throughout his life and kind of championing challenging films that challenge you to kind of think differently or to perceive things differently, I was disappointed in myself because I couldn't get myself interested in this movie. And this movie made me feel bad about myself. It really did. It really made me feel like, dude, I'm fucking too old for this shit. I don't give a shit anymore. I don't want to learn anymore. I'm like, what's going on with me? I'm watching B movies because they're just easy. And I don't have to give a fuck. And this is the same thing. Maybe it's fatigue of pretentiousness. I don't know what it is, but I think this was especially one of these movies where I was visibly and just angry at myself and him for making me have to fucking think. And I want to have fun. It's COVID. And how dare you fucking try and make me think about shit that I can't understand? I'm like, I'm trying to learn about all this shit. I can watch this goddamn movie.
He made a difficult movie on purpose, and then
it's definitely a sniff your own fart type of movie.
Yeah.
Well, so does the end make any sense? What the reveals at the end, the fate of Neil, and and you see him, you see the end of his life, but then you find out that the protagonist is going to meet Neil, I guess, in the future again.
He's going to meet Neil as a child.
Which is Max. Yeah.
And then that's...
I love that the closing, like the ending is the beginning. He's like, this is the end of my relationship with you, but your relationship with me is starting. And that's also when he first meets him. He already knew that, like, oh, you don't drink when you're working.
The thing that I don't understand is, okay, so at the end of this movie... Now the protagonist is supposed to start Tenet,
right?
Or the organization,
yeah.
But he's already saved everyone.
But it's not. It's still going to happen
because it's a time loop. So it's always going to
still going to happen like when he goes forward. He's going to have to come back and start Tenet. I don't know.
There's going to be someone in the future that tries to do that. I don't know.
At some point, he's still going to meet Neil and train him and send him back.
Him to do his destiny of going back again.
He's kind of like Kyle Reese, Neil, if you think about it. It's a little Kyle Reese thing going. The destiny is to sacrifice himself every loop.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm happy that I saw it. I'm happy that there were some interesting action scenes and some interesting cinematography and interesting direction going on. I did like a lot of that stuff. I just wish that it was coherent enough for me to understand. And I wish that it wasn't so convoluted. It didn't need to be to tell this story. Like, if you boil it down, what is the story? The story is this guy figures out that people can go backwards in time, and they're building some shit that's going to fuck up their entire timeline in order to restore humanity. Now, that's an interesting idea. Yeah. All right. You have this interesting idea there that, okay, they're going to fix everything. All right. So I started to kind of grasp onto that. Like, they're going to actually fix everything by wiping out our timeline. Is that worth it? Is it worth it to like fix the world? And we already know what's going to happen, but is it worth it to fix the world to kind of remake everything and have a completely new blank slate? And I think that that's an interesting idea, but we never explore that.
It's such a slow way to time travel. How is this useful?
Yeah.
The fuck?
No, yeah, I agree. There's actually an interesting story there, but he got really lost in like the puzzle piece mission of like going to this person to get to this person to like get this artifact to do this to do that.
Oh my god,
that stuff was not entertaining.
I think it's interesting also to kind of be able to look at an event and learn how you can manipulate that event if you can go back and do it. But then every time travel movie does that as well. And Primer did it better in a lot of ways, I think, and in a more coherent fashion. So did Time Crime.
As confusing as Primer is, this is way more convoluted and confusing. Primer almost makes more sense. Time Crimes makes perfect sense. Like, that closed loop story is phenomenal, and also in Primer. But there's a lot of care put into the number 10 and palindromes and these reversals. So I appreciate this. Check this out. There is something called Sator Square. Sator, of course, being the name Kenneth Branagh's Russian arms dealer. The Sator Square, it's a 2-dimensional word square containing a 5-word Latin palindrome. This thing comes from early Christian history. The earliest examples from the ruins of Pompeii, and some people attribute it pre-Christian origins. Now, check this out. Here are the words on this Sator Square, and I'll put an image in your podcast app because this is an amazing palindrome. The first word is Sator. Then it says Arepo, which is the name of the art dealer in the movie. Then it says Tenet. Then it says Opera, which was in the movie. And then it says Rotis, which was the name of the security company in the movie. Now, if you read this up and down, backwards and forwards, it reads the same.
Oh, I can do that, no problem.
Backwards and forwards, up and down, in Tenet. So
why is this important? Like if I just took a square and wrote E's all the way up and down, it would read the same every single way.
No,
right?
But can you get Sator and wrote?
What's a Sator? Is that a word? Is that a real word? Yeah. If it's not a fucking word, what the hell is we? There's one real word.
It's a
opera.
Fun puzzle. Opera and Tenet. Tenet's a word. I don't know if he was inspired by this.
Tenet a word?
Tenet?
No.
Yeah, Tenet.
I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, why am I impressed by this? I'm like, oh, this is fucking amazing.
I think it's
you read
cool.
it in every single direction. I'm like, yeah, but if you just make up a word,
you make up words, yeah,
it can make it fit. I'm sure that you can do it with anything.
A Tenet
is a opinion.
A tenant is
not a tenant like a person living in an apartment.
Oh, a tenant, like
the way they spell it in the movie.
Belief. Yes,
a belief. The
so
tenets
it is a word.
Of this faith.
Arepo and Sator are not words, but I do like how he mix this into the screenplay, whatever it's worth. Now, let's finish this with this. I found this article on Cinema Blend, and it makes a good point, and I kind of agree, is let's see Nolan go back to his roots. You want to go backwards? You want to invert shit? Go backwards. Make a movie for $5 million, Chris.
Oh, shit.
Just go, because you can argue Memento and his first movie, the following, Memento really mirrors this a lot. The movie is told backwards in sets, and then there's a forward story going through the backwards. But those movies, you care about those people. He is interested in the people, not just the idea. This movie, he just cares about the idea. He forgot about the people, but I would love for him. What do you do next? This is like, I feel like this is his opus. Like, he's been wanting to do this for decades. Where do you go from this? Make a movie for $5 million. What do you think?
Yes.
I mean, it's tough to say he should go back. I mean, that's a different Nolan at a different time when he's trying to impress. He's trying to come up and do something with nothing. Like, he's Christopher Nolan now. He's going to get whatever budget he wants. So, he's a different man. Like, he's not that young guy anymore. He's doing wild things because he's been enabled to do wild things. Yeah. So I would love to see him return back to his roots, but I don't think you go backwards.
Not backwards, but I'd like to see him get challenged.
I think you should leave time alone.
Oh.
I think you should just leave time alone.
Maybe something else. Yes. How about what else you got?
Well, what was that one that he did in space?
Interstellar.
That was a long ass movie, but it was I found that it was at least interesting.
I like Interstellar. A lot of people don't like the Interstellar.
Yeah, I mean, it's not his best film, but I thought it was interesting at least. So I'm sure that he could, and that had something to do with time and space and all that other shit too.
Yeah, Memento, Interstellar, Inception, all of these things have informed even The Prestige and Dark Knight Rises. You see hints of every movie in this fucking movie.
I think he just needs to. You can have a great idea, but don't become so obsessed with the idea that you forget about other things. Yeah,
he got so buried in it. Like, if he just stuck his head out, he would have been like, wait, none of this makes fucking sense.
And probably someone should have told him, this idea is not your best idea.
Well, I just think that what was going on is like, well, the regular people are not going to get it. They're going to have to watch it like 10 times, but all the brilliant people will get it right away.
Mm.
I mean, the clues are fun. He's color-coded. Blue.
Oh, come on.
Blue is
the clues are fun.
But the thing is, when people let's say like when a super nerd explains it, like you can watch the YouTube videos of them explaining it, it's still not interesting.
It's
like,
still
I'm not interested by even like, oh, and this happens. I'm like, well, I don't really give a fuck. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who the fuck? Like, it's not interesting. Now, like, the most interesting thing in this fucking movie is that Neil and Max are the same person.
Yes, and I didn't even know that until later.
I didn't know that until today.
And that Neil was the guy that saved him in the beginning. That was the only big thing.
Yeah, well, we figured that out. You see the little the keychain and the red dangly thing,
and he fights himself.
And
which is not supposed to be possible, right?
I mean, I would throw this on and just watch the action scenes. If
I would probably never throw this on.
Just like the action scenes are kind of crazy.
I might one day, if I like get a new brain or something. Like if I'm saying in the future when they go and they get cybernetic implants and I can all of a sudden I have a bigger hard drive in my brain, I'll go back and watch it and see if it can make any sense.
So I was looking up timelines, like people who had put timelines together, and holy shit, they are all fucking confusing. It still doesn't help. Really, all I know is Neil inverted himself the most out of all of them and has the most confusing fucking timeline. Well, look, let's rate this movie, maybe rank it against the ones that you've seen that you know of. Ruggs.
All of the Nolan movies?
Yeah, Ruggs, let's start with you.
Oh, this is the bottom of Nolan movies.
Shit, yes.
Then I would probably have to say Interstellar.
Really?
Yeah. Right. I mean, oh no, Dark Knight Rises.
Here's what we have. So, following Memento, Insomnia, Batman Begins, The Prestige, The Dark Knight, Inception, The Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, Dunkirk, Tenet.
Okay, so yeah, I'm still sticking to that.
I haven't seen all of those. I've seen most of them.
The only one I haven't seen is Dunkirk.
And that's a lot like the war stuff you saw at the end of this movie. That's a lot like Dunkirk. What number would you give it, Ruggs?
What, for a score? Yeah. On a scale of what we usually do, the 10 score, I think I would give it. Oh my God, I think I'd give it a 5.
Oh shit! And favorite movie out of these? What's his best movie?
Out of all of them?
Yeah, what's his best movie? What's your favorite?
I don't know. I got a soft spot for The Prestige.
Yeah, Prestige. A lot of people like The Prestige.
I think Memento's great too.
The Prestige.
But and I like The Dark Knight, and I like Batman Begins. So those are all great.
Yeah. Anthony, what are your thoughts? What number? Where does it land? I'm
going to give this a 4.5.
Oh my God!
I really don't like this film. I haven't seen all of Christopher Nolan films. So I'd assume this is the bottom. I enjoy The Dark Knight obviously a lot. Memento I recently revisited, still really good. Inception I enjoy. Yeah, this is the bottom. I mean, the only other film I can think of that's not as good or that great for him that I've seen is The Dark Knight Rises, but the subject matter, I like Batman, so I'm still gonna like the film. Yeah.
And okay, I'm gonna give it a 6. 6. I fucking love Memento and Inception. I think are standouts for me, and of course all the Batman stuff. Insomnia was okay. That was with Robin Williams and Al Pacino. You guys ever seen that one? It was kind of boring.
I have not.
He plays a guy who goes up to Alaska and like the sun doesn't set. He's like a detective for 6 months.
I'm looking up these Greek words or these Latin words.
Sator, arepo. Do they mean anything?
Means plant.
Okay.
Planter. Cedar.
Oh,
now
cedar.
what is the other one? Arepo.
Arepo.
If these are real words, what does arepo mean? It's
a name. It's just the name.
It's a plow.
Okay.
Is that a plow? They're not really sure what that means.
Rotus. What about Rotus? That's the only one I don't know. That's just
Rotus.
Yeah, Rotas. Sator backwards. Not a word.
List of showing. No, there's no.
Not a word.
Not a word.
Anyways, that's Sator Square. People look it up. It's history.
I wasn't impressed by that.
Jimmy Graben, we hoped we helped cure some of your anxiety and distress over this movie. So it's a fucked up movie. Would you recommend anybody watch it? Let's just end there.
I think if you really think this, listen, we have some people that are smarter than me listening right now, and probably can figure this out, that will enjoy it. So there's people that are more patient and whatever. And I would rather, I'd see that they'd probably rather try and figure this out than watch stupid shit that I like to watch. So they should watch this movie.
You can't figure this movie out on a first watch, so...
I would say, actually, even though I don't like the movie at all, and I can't recommend it as like a good film, I would recommend people watch it because I think the dialogue around the movie is interesting. What people think about it coming out of it.
I kind of agree. I don't think it's his best movie, but I actually would recommend you watch it twice. That's the way to watch this because
Jesus Christ.
You cannot figure out this movie on the first. But all Primer, Time Crimes, all those movies you mentioned, the great science fiction time travel movies, you have to watch twice. They are way more fulfilling. Anyways, that's Tenet. Let's do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. And
what just happened there? You short circuit?
No, I was going to start, but I forgot about the fart. Wait. Gotta wait for that.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Sounds like you short circuited there.
Like Imran can't stop talking even when he plays this.
Yeah.
I realize
you by the way, you are apex like interruption level today.
Fuck, drink. Everyone's drunk and dead. I was just going to say, I realized I just recommended wasting 5 hours of your life watching this fucking movie twice. Maybe don't do that. Jess Rivera posted on our Facebook group this great graphic of all the upcoming MCU villains. And there's a bunch of them asking which MCU villain are you most looking forward to?
Geek Boner.
And holy shit, we have some kind of great things coming. Here's all your people. You have Catherine Hahn from WandaVision. You got Zemo from Falcon and Winter Soldier. You have, what's her name? Rachel Weisz from Black Widow. That's Richard E. Grant in Loki. Shang-Chi, I don't know who that guy is. He's a bad guy.
He's a famous Chinese actor.
He is. Somebody look up his name. I looked up this next one because I didn't know. Hawkeye, this actor's name is Free, playing a character named Kazi.
The Chinese actor is Tony Leung.
Tony Leung. Does it say who he's playing?
Nice. Yeah, the Mandarin.
Oh, he is the Mandarin. The real Mandarin. Oh, shit.
Real man.
So you got the Mandarin there. You got Fra Free playing somebody in Hawkeye. You got Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. You got Jamie Foxx coming back as Electro. You have WandaVision, possibly the villain in the Doctor Strange movie. You got Christian Bale as Gore, the God Butcher.
Get the fuck out!
Fuck's sake, man, you're amateur.
I pressed the wrong button. Black Panther. Who's this in Black Panther? This one I wasn't sure either.
Don't know.
You got Zawe Ashton, Captain Marvel 2, who just got cast. You got Ethan Hawke as the bad guy in Moon Knight. You got fucking the dude from Lovecraft Country, Jonathan Majors, as Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man Quantumania.
Oh, shit.
You got, who's that? I forgot his name. From Armor Wars, from Iron Man 3. Justin Hammer, played by Sam Rockwell, right? That's Rockwell.
Yep.
And then finally, Abomination coming back, Tim Roth, as in She-Hulk.
It's a tough one here.
There's one more. Just announced today, Marvel has cast Kingsley Ben-Adir, Malcolm X from One Night in Miami, as the lead villain in Secret Invasion.
Geek Boner.
Oh, yeah. Malcolm X is the bad guy. Yeah, he was great. Malcolm X is the bad guy in Secret Invasion. So,
who is the guy in Loki? Who's the character in Loki?
I'm not sure. On the IMDb page, it does not have a character listing.
All right. Well, right off the bat, I mean, it'd be interesting to see Wanda as a bad guy.
Yeah.
All right. But I'm going for people that I want to see for a long time on screen, like Marvel characters. So I want to see the fucking Mandarin finally.
Oh, nice.
All right. That's number one. Yeah. So that's a big one. And, of course, the Abomination being back in the game, that's also cool. Kang being in the mix.
Kang is exciting.
All right. So those things are those are major villains that I knew from the Avengers and from Iron Man and from shit like that, okay, I want to see them brought to life.
Nice.
So I'm excited for those.
Anthony?
I'm still trying to figure out who some of these guys are, so I don't know, in girls, who everyone is playing. But I'm in the same boat in terms of wanting to see famous characters put on screen. So Jonathan Majors, the Mandarin. I'm very curious to see who Ethan Hawke is. I'm interested to see who that villain is, especially Moon Knight's an interesting character as well. So interested to see who would be the foil to that.
Ethan Hawke's great in everything.
Ethan Hawke is fantastic. The casting in this is amazing. Of course, Zemo. Fuck. I mean, we're going to see Zemo soon. And, the last we saw, he was in jail. So I can't wait to see him. And I think there's so much depth to this Zemo. That's going to be exciting. And then, of course, Alfred Molina. Jamie Foxx is Electro, whatever. That's great. Spider-Man. Alfred Molina coming back with that just honest, sincere, amazing Doc Ock character, one of the best Doc Ocks on live screen. That's fucking exciting. And Gore the God Butcher also. I want to see what he's going to look like. Christian Bale, another great cat. This is really the future of villains in the MCU. This is pretty exciting. I'm kind of
geek boner,
kind of hyped now that they put all this together. We can take a look at it in one shot.
It's an interesting rogues gallery.
It's going to be great. Malcolm X, I think, will be the toughest villain.
How many of these are going to be just CG?
Oh, okay. So King is supposed to be blue. Gore the God Butcher probably is going to be covered.
Yeah, or like I mentioned in another show, Christian Bale just cuts off his nose.
He's method, man. Method. Fucking amateur. Abomination, he's half CG.
Yeah, those are your for sure's right there.
Unclear about the Zawe Ashton. Unclear.
Yeah, we don't know what the Black Panther villain is either.
About Richard E. Grant. Maybe Ethan Hawke is covered in CG. Could be an Egyptian, dude, demon soul, something.
He's not going to play an Egyptian anything.
I guess that wouldn't work. That wouldn't really. You can't do that in 2021.
I don't think Marvel would be pretty tone deaf to do that.
I mean, they're firing people for just saying shit, so they're not gonna have a fucking dude play an Egyptian that's not
He's
Egyptian.
132nd Syrian. I don't know.
Oh, the Black Panther one is the actor's Tenoch Huerta.
Oh, that's right. That's Tenoch Huerta.
He was in Narcos.
Yeah. So, but who's the bad guy? I don't know.
I have no idea.
So yeah, good stuff. Good question by Jess Rivera. Let's finish up with some what are we watching? Who wants to start?
Well, you know what I'm watching, and I will be watching. I put out what I've watched. I will be watching another round this week. probably Wolfwalkers.
Oh, that's a good one. I've seen that
stuff.
Wolfwalkers
is good.
Good animated. Ruggs, did you guys, Anthony, me and might not, did you check out the Bat and the Sun's new short on YouTube called Batman Dying is Easy?
No, I didn't know it was there.
Oh, it's a good one. It's 26 minutes long. This thing has racked up almost 3 million views, made for a budget of $75,000 on Indiegogo. It's a kind of a psychological story between Batman and the Joker in Arkham. The cast is kind of crazy that they got these people in this like fan-made production. Kevin Porter is playing Batman. He's played Batman in the back. He's not a bad Batman. They got Michael Madsen to play Harvey Bullock.
Oh, yeah.
Doug Jones playing the Riddler. Chris Daughtry from American Idol. Chris Daughtry. He was Hugo Strange.
Oh,
yeah, that was weird.
And Casper Van... Chris Daughtry plays Dr. Strange, Hugo Strange. Casper Van Dien from Stormship Troopers. And then playing Joker is the writer and co-director. This guy's name is Aaron Shanky, who co-directed it with his brother, who played the Joker. He was okay. He was a little over the top.
They did Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe.
Yes, and they do all the great Bat and the Sun things. Ruggs, what'd you think about this, considering it's a fan production? They raised the money, $75,000.
It's fine. I mean, I like the opening scene where Batman goes into the apartment and beats up those guys.
The only action in the whole thing.
And then the rest of it's just him talking to the Joker.
Yeah.
And, then you have like the acting is not the best thing about these things.
Right.
Usually it's usually the action that really is great. So, I was like, wow, this is going on really long.
The costumes are great. I think his costume looks great.
The costume's great. I think the guy looks great as Batman. He looks like a cool Batman.
Even Joker, like when he raises his eyebrows, it looks like an awesome, sick comic book drawing of Joker.
Right.
But he's a little bit much in.
Yeah, there's just it's just overdone. Yeah. But like, yeah, I mean, I would have liked another action sequence there. There could have been something a little bit more. It left be something to be desired. But I love the design of the costume. I like the score and stuff were pretty good. They're interesting. Some of the CG was a little bit, but like overall, I mean, it's a fan film.
Yeah, it's fucking.
So it's what it is.
I was impressed with, in the fact that it's a fan film, and the story itself is kind of like a great psychological manipulation kind of thing that you get in great Batman comics.
What exactly happens in this? Like
the setup is the Joker has called Batman to Arkham because he's dying of cancer, and he wants Batman to kill him. He doesn't want the cancer to kill him. He wants the Batman to kill him.
Right.
So that's kind of I like the premise. It's a good setup. Ruggs, I know I watched another thing you watched on Hulu, the Soleil Moon Frye, who's Punky Brewster for any youngins. Don't know.
My God. I saw this. I was like, I have
the Hulu doc called Kid 90 that is largely made up of her homemade VHS tapes of her hanging out with all the 90s kids. Like they all hung out together. They being the cast of Punky Brewster, 90210, Charlie Sheen, Johnny Depp, Saved by the Bell. All these cats were all friends and they hung out. And
right. Well, my takeaway from this film was, number one, all of these little young actors, they all fucking were doing drugs and telling people not to do them.
Yes, they were. And she goes into that. She was doing the same thing.
And literally, like every third guy that Soleil Moon Frye talks to kills themselves.
Oh my God, Anthony.
Yes.
Listen, Soleil Moon Frye, this part was amazing in this doc. First of all, I loved New York in the 90s. She moved to the 90s, Ruggs, the same time we were there.
I know.
She was hanging out with those kids from the movie Kids, Harmony Korine. So Anthony, she starts hanging out with the skateboarders of the 90s, and they all start committing suicide. In fact, the end of the movie, there's 8 people that it's in memoriam. There's a slate with 8 people she's been friends with that have all died to kill themselves. And the one connection is they all hung out with Soleil Moon Frye. What the fuck is this? I was wild.
Why would you put that in a documentary?
I don't know. It ends with these 8 friends who have all killed themselves. I was like, holy shit, Soleil.
All I kept thinking, I'm like, wow, what the fuck is her? She's the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, that was wild. I did not expect it to end with an in memoriam.
Like, what happened to Joey Lawrence? Let me Google him.
He's still alive.
Whoa, I have no hair.
I did appreciate like the honesty, and I don't know if you know her story, Anthony. After Punky Brewster, she developed really quickly.
Huge tits.
By 15, she had like size E, not even double D.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, why are we talking about her tits?
Because it's part of this documentary. She had
she went and got breast reduction surgery at a young age.
It was in all the papers. She went on like Oprah and stuff. She got breast reduction surgery at 15. It was a big deal.
How old was she in Punky Brewster?
She was like 7 to 13.
I always wanted to see her and Kim Fields mud wrestle.
Tootie? Tootie from Facts of Life?
Oh, wow. She did have huge boobs.
Yes.
Kim Fields also had very huge boobs.
Yeah, but
that were like uncomfortably large.
It was bad. I felt bad for her because she had back problems. Men were pinching her ass, grown men at 13, treating her like a woman because it was just too big. Like all of a sudden you can't. That's not good.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's obviously, I'm glad that she did that because, she said she wanted to feel comfortable in her body, and that's cool. Like,
also, I will say I've watched.
Why did you watch this?
What?
Why did you watch this?
Because I love Punky Brewster growing up and Soleil Moon Frye. I always had a crush on Punky Brewster.
I don't even know what Punky Brewster is.
Punky Brewster is the show it's a sitcom where a girl gets adopted by an old man. Her mom had abandoned her, and he finds her and her dog, and she lives with Henry. Her caretaker, and it's all about.
And she's just an eccentric girl.
She has different color shoes. She does what she wants.
Punky's a woman.
Punky Brewster is the little kid. Yes, Soleil Moon Frye.
Okay.
So,
are you gonna watch its revival on Peacock?
Let me tell you about that. I watched the first couple of episodes of the Punky Brewster reboot on the cock, and here's my reaction. It was a great nostalgia hit for the first 2 episodes, but the show is trash. Don't bother.
Yeah.
There's no reason to watch more than couple of episodes.
Is Soleil Moon Frye on it?
She's on it, and Freddie Prinze Jr. is in it now as her ex-husband. She has kids, and the first episode starts with her adopting another foster kid off the street whose mom had abandoned her similarly.
Yeah, I am down a bad rabbit hole right now.
With the Soleil Moon Frye and Punky Brewster?
Well, with the gigantomastia that she had.
You're welcome.
Oh, my God. These are big boobs.
Those are not boobs that should be on a child. Yes, a young child, and it was just.
Now I'm looking at like random people's big gigantic.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay,
man.
Great.
This is not good.
We have distracted Anthony to boob search.
I'm not at all. I'm not. This is kind of repulsive. I'm sorry.
Well, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. It was a good documentary though. It really hit the nostalgia for me, and to see New York in the '90s was awesome in those clips.
You could have married Soleil.
I'm surprised I didn't run into her. She literally moved there the same year I moved there. We're like the same age, and we must have passed.
I've heard Soleil Moon Frye stories.
Oh shit! Really?
A few of my a few of my friends worked at clubs.
Yeah, she was big into the clubs
that were doing.
I am not surprised at all that Ruggs had his ear to the pavement in New York and would have potentially come across Soleil Moon Frye.
And where all the skaters clubs.
Well, you know that movie Kids?
Yes.
Like those guys were like, they were around the city all the time, and they were buy drugs from somebody that I knew.
Yeah. Well, and she knew the actual kids in Kids, and one of them, 2 of them.
Did you ever see that movie, Anthony? Kids.
I have to look this up.
Harmony Korine. It's quite disturbing.
It's a really disturbing film,
but it's an excellent snapshot of the skater culture in the village.
I have not seen this.
In the '90s in New York, West Village. Like it's pretty much like dead on real and
a club scene, skaters, drug addicts.
That whole shit was crazy. Anything else? And what are we watching? Anybody got anything?
You have here. This is what you have listed. You have the making of WandaVision. Did you
watch that? Anybody watch that?
No, I did not.
I watched a little bit of it, and then I couldn't get into the fluff of them.
I love all that behind the scenes stuff. Yeah.
I don't really like the behind the scenes stuff.
Did you watch the South Park special?
Oh, fuck. That was amazing. Shit. Yes. The South Park vaccination special. Hilarious. Highly recommend.
Okay, I didn't watch it, so I'm going to check it out. You watched Superman and Lois. Is it good?
Superman and Lois is not bad. It's Clark. It's hilarious. Clark is Superman, strongest man in the world, can do anything, but his kids still think he's shit. Like, you can't make it with your fucking teenage kids still giving you guff, and you're Superman. It's very fascinating to watch him be a parent and talk about mortgages and land leases for the farm. That part nuts.
So you're on the third episode.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. The Flash started up again. Avoid. It's completely fucking stupid.
Yeah, I'm not going near that.
And then Walking Dead is back. It's all right. I just have it on in the background. I don't really pay attention. So
you have Boss Level here. You watched it?
I watched Boss Level yesterday. It's a lot of fun, super cartoony, and it takes that Groundhog Day, living the same day over, Edge of Tomorrow.
It's a bad film that I enjoy.
It's so cartoony, but you didn't mention the cast is weird. Naomi Watts is in there.
Yeah.
She is so good that Frank Grillo is just a piece of shit actor next to her. Like, he looks the part. He can do the action. His acting is not the best. And then Mel Gibson just fucking phoning this in, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
Did not give a shit.
Will Sasso's
Okay,
in.
that was my problem. I couldn't take Will Sasso. This ruined the whole movie. You're going to tell me I can't take Will Sasso seriously as a bad guy henchman? No. Is this a fucking Mad TV sketch?
Oh my god! I thought it was hilarious because I'm like, how are they gonna get Will Sasso to be the big heavy in this movie?
He's the bad guy, and it's just you can't take Will Sasso seriously.
Oh my god!
But other than that, definitely fun, mindless movie to watch. I do love reliving the same day over and over again in movies. Is always fun.
I love when he goes. My favorite part of this movie is when he goes to a video game place and he's talking to this guy that runs it. And he acts like such a dick to this guy because he's like, "How old are you? You play video games? Is that what you're doing?"
It's a pop-up 8-bit esports tournament. And the dude's like, "Oh, we got Street Fighter, fucking all." He's like, "How old are you?" He goes, 41, bro. he just
looks at him with such disgust.
That's good.
Like, what kind of a man are you? And then that whole scene where the guy shoots him with that arrow and that's with a chain.
And then he drags him, the hillbilly dude.
Yeah, that made me laugh.
It's funny and it's violent and it's like cartoony violent. So
it's like Looney Tunes.
It's totally cartoon. It's like live action cartoon. All right, Ruggs, that's it for this episode. Ruggs, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy, where people are commenting on tweets I made like a year ago for some reason.
Wow.
Yeah, Gail Simone. Remember that? Gail Simone blocked me.
Yes.
Well, I guess because she was talking about how people were telling women characters to smile more or something.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, they always told Henry Cavill to smile more, and when he was in Snyder movies, it's the same shit, isn't it? And I got blocked for saying that. And so now people are finding this tweet and they're like commenting on it and starting
viral.
It back up again.
Yay!
Yeah.
So, by the way, listener, if you're wondering where Anthony is, he's hit his mic and disconnected from the thing, and we're just going to end the show without him. I'm not going through the trouble of having him back in. It's just another track I got to record, causing all sorts of problems. Fucking Anthony.
Let me tell you about Tony, all right? Tony ruins lives.
So, Rex, you got to help me finish the show. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Listener, share the show, spread the geekery. We'll catch you next time. My name is Imran.
My name is Rug Boy.
He's the Rug Boy.
And he's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.